For almost 50 years since she passed away, people have loved Mama Cass of the hit 60s band Mamas and the Papas. But now, her children confirm the rumors, a surprising discovery that has shown us a different side of her life. Behind the scenes, Mama Cass Elliot lived through several nightmares. Why did she actually resent her popular nickname? What injury masked the hurtful judgment she faced from her own band? The answers will break your heart. Join us to take an in-depth journey into the personal challenges Cass faced, complete with insights from her daughter, revealing the identity of Owen's father. If you enjoyed today's video, please show your support by liking it and subscribing to our channel to stay updated on our upcoming deep dives. Now, without further delay, let's dive into the world of Cass Elliot. Ellen Naomi Cohen, better known as Mama Cass, was born on September 11, 1941, in Baltimore, Maryland. Her family quickly recognized that she was a remarkable child destined for greatness. Little did they know that she would achieve legendary status in the years to come. By the age of 4, Cass had already displayed her exceptional talents by speaking 5 languages. Her parents, who were refugees from Poland and had resettled in the United States, often provided refuge to newcomers from various countries, including Poland, Germany, Russia, and Italy. Cass herself confirmed this in the book, Dream a Little Dream of Me, The Life of Mama. Cass Elliot. She learned not only the languages spoken by these newcomers, but also the songs they brought with them. Mama Cass had always been a larger-sized individual, but her size never hindered her. In her words from the early 1970s, "I've always been different. I've been fat since I was 7. Being overweight sets you apart. But luckily, I was bright with it. I had an IQ of 165. I got into the habit of being independent, and that habit became a guiding principle in my life." Cass's childhood differed from that of other kids her age. She didn't find enjoyment in playing with toys. At the age of 9, she developed a keen interest in politics, maturing far ahead of her peers. In fact, she was so mature that she once asked a doctor friend of her family about the world's political situation, leaving him quite impressed. Cass's Aunt Lil Finn, at 94 years old, recalled, "But we were always discussing politics in our house, and she would listen in and was a very astute little girl." Cass's early years were marked by her exceptional intelligence and her unique approach to life. During her high school years, Mama Cass underwent a transformation. She made the decision to alter her first name, inspired by the popular TV comedian Peggy Cass, and adopted the new surname Elliot, in honor of a dear friend who had recently passed away. So, Ellen Cohen became Cass Elliot. The iconic name Mama Cass would come later, as we'll soon explore. But how did Mama Cass find her way into the world of music, you might wonder? At the tender age of 17, she left her home and headed to New York City. Her initial aim was to pursue a career in acting, although upon her arrival in the city, she didn't even possess a high school diploma. She briefly joined the tour of the musical The Music Man, and also worked in the cloakroom of the Showplace in the West Village. During this time, Mama Cass was fully committed to making her mark in the entertainment industry. She regularly performed at late-night open mic events in local bars. In 1962, she even auditioned for a role in the Broadway production of I Can Get It For You Wholesale. However, another rising star named Barbra Streisand landed the part. At the age of 22, Cass decided to shift gears and move to Washington to enroll at the American University. This move would mark a significant turning point for Cass, who primarily considered herself an actress rather than a singer up to that point. Little did she know that her destiny was about to take a different musical turn. Shortly after settling in Washington, D.C., Mama Cass took her first steps into the world of music. She teamed up with fellow singers Tim Rose and John Brown to form a trio known as the Triumvirate. Their music spanned popular and country genres, and they soon found themselves making their mark on the folk music scene, which was gaining popularity at the time. Around the same period, Cass was involved in producing an off-Broadway play that was staged at Café La Mama in New York. This experience may have played a role in her decision to adopt her future stage name, Mama Cass. In 1963, the trio underwent a change as James Hendricks replaced John Brown, and the band was rebranded as the Big Three. Posters and promotions often included the tagline, featuring Mama Cass Elliot. It wasn't long before Mama Cass entered a new chapter in her life by tying the knot with her bandmate, James. Their marriage held the additional benefit of exempting James from being drafted into the Vietnam War. James eventually departed from the group, and Hendricks relocated to Los Angeles. He and Cass filed for divorce in 1968. However, before these events unfolded, Mama Cass crossed paths with individuals who would pave her way to the top of the music charts. First, Denny Doherty joined her new band before becoming a part of the New Journeymen, a group that included John Phillips. Doherty convinced John and his new wife, Michelle, that Mama Cass was precisely what the group needed. Her powerful and harmonious voice would be a perfect fit for them. John, Michelle, Denny, and Mama Cass came together to form the group that would go on to create music that resonated across the world. The Mamas and the Papas were born in 1965, and it didn't take long for them to establish their reputation. Their first single, California Dreamin', together with her bandmates, defined an entire era of music, paving the way for other musicians and women in particular. One of the standout features that made her exceptional was her unique vocal range. Music enthusiasts often categorize her as a mezzo-soprano, but she also had the ability to reach soprano notes, showcasing an impressive quality and vocal range that few artists could match. A popular folk myth surrounds the origins of Cass's remarkable vocal range, suggesting it resulted from a brutal accident. According to the story, Cass was at a club in the Virgin Islands that was under construction when a thin metal pipe accidentally fell, striking her on the head. This incident led to Cass being hospitalized with a concussion, and the narrative goes that her singing voice became notably higher following this head injury. Cass herself supported this folk myth, asserting that it was true, honest to God. However, while it's true that Cass experienced a head injury before fully joining the Mamas and the Papas, historical recordings of her voice from before the injury already demonstrated an impressive vocal range. It appears that her range had a natural breadth, and the accident in the Virgin Islands may have merely amplified her existing abilities. Interestingly, as much as the tale of the head injury and its impact on her voice may captivate, there's a deeper layer to the story. Russell Gilliam, sister of Mama Michelle Phillips, suggests that this fantastic narrative might have been a cover-up for something far more hurtful. Cass Elliot's journey in the Mamas and the Papas wasn't without its share of challenges and controversies. While she was in the Virgin Islands, Cass was actively performing alongside John Phillips, Michelle, and Denny Doherty. However, John Phillips seemed reluctant to fully embrace her into the group. The underlying reason for this reluctance was rumored to be Cass's weight. It's believed that John wanted to exclude Cass entirely from the band due to concerns about her appearance. Acknowledging this fact would have been incredibly hurtful, and it wouldn't have reflected well on him, especially as the group gained fame. To save face, the story surrounding Cass's inability to hit the right notes and her supposed vocal transformation due to the pipe accident was concocted. Cass's isolation from her future bandmates ended as the group became more successful. However, the stigma associated with her appearance continued to haunt her throughout her life, and even beyond her passing. The nickname Mama Cass was a source of contention for Cass Elliot. She walked a life filled with contradictions during her career. She maintained a facade regarding her entry into the Mamas and the Papas to better focus on the present and her role in the group. While she was an integral part of the harmonies that contributed to the Mamas and the Papas' success, Cass openly admitted that she only felt a sense of pride in a limited number of the songs she helped create. Cass Elliot's aversion to being labeled as Mama Cass ran deep and was rooted in her desire to break free from the folk music scene's stereotypical image. Her struggle with this label began long before she joined the Mamas and the Papas. Even before becoming part of the famous quartet, Cass had already been associated with the name Mama, and it grated on her like sandpaper. She recounted her experiences, saying, "I fought against it all my folks singing life. Before I was even with the Mamas and the Papas, I hated it. Everyone would say, 'Hey, Mama, what's happening?' When the Mamas and the Papas came into the picture, Cass found herself stuck with this nickname, despite having a hand in choosing the band's name. She felt that the public had thrust upon her the Big Mama image that she didn't create herself. Cass wanted to assert her independence and maintain her uniqueness in a world that often sought to box her into a particular persona. Her independent spirit and determination to live life on her terms became defining characteristics of her journey in the music industry. Cass Elliot's departure from the Mamas and the Papas, despite the group's stellar harmonies, was not solely due to musical differences. Behind the scenes, a messy love triangle complicated matters. Cass found herself in a one-sided romantic entanglement as she pined for Denny Doherty, while Doherty was involved in an affair with Michelle. This love triangle took on more of a square shape due to Michelle's simultaneous marriage to John. To add to the turmoil, the band had to contend with legal drama. Cass faced charges related to the alleged theft of hotel laundry. The legal proceedings cast a shadow over their plans, leading to the cancellation of significant commitments. Ultimately, Cass was found not guilty, but she later confessed to pilfering some sheets during the incident. The weight of the Big Mama image weighed heavily on Cass Elliot during her time with the band. By 1967, the strains of this image, along with various personal and professional challenges, led to the dissolution of the Mamas and the Papas. Although some considered the idea of a potential comeback, Mama Cass was resolute in her decision to move forward. Her determination to break free from the past and assert her individuality became evident when she embarked on a successful solo career. The breakup from the group, fortunately, was not a dramatic affair. According to Cass, it was an unspoken understanding among the members that if anyone felt the need to leave, they could do so without any hard feelings. Cass recalled the moment she approached John Phillips about her desire to move on. "So I went to John and said, 'Look, it's been 2.5 years and I'm really tired and I want to do some stuff on my own,'" Cass explained. "He said, 'Well, perhaps it wouldn't be proper for you to do that as a member of the group, so if you want to leave, we'll understand.'" With the band behind her, Mama Cass embarked on her solo career. She graced the stages of Las Vegas, toured the country, and made guest appearances on renowned shows like The Andy Williams Show and The Johnny Cash Show. One of her most famous solo songs, a cover of Make Your Own Kind of Music, made a significant impact and reached number 36 on the charts. In an effort to distance herself from her stage name associated with the Mamas and the Papas, Cass's final album, released in 1973, was aptly titled Don't Call Me Mama Anymore. This choice underscored her desire to shed the Mama Cass persona and be recognized for her own talents and merits. Reflecting on her image as Big Mama, Cass emphasized, "I never created the Big Mama image. The public does it for you." She was determined to define her identity on her own terms, away from the shadows of the past. Cass was acutely aware of the depth of her musical talent, even if negative voices sometimes overshadowed her abilities. She believed in herself and once expressed, "I seem to be one of the very few pure singers around nowadays. I think you've got to be better vocally if you've got nothing else to offer." Cass Elliot's struggles with her weight had a significant impact on her journey, especially when it came to her entry into the Mamas and the Papas. Her weight was a source of concern and led her to take extreme and ultimately unhealthy measures. Despite her talent and potential, it proved to be a hindrance. In a remarkable turn of events, Cass secured a high-profile gig at Caesar's Palace, where she was set to earn an impressive $40,000 per week for a 3-week engagement, featuring 2 shows each night. However, at this point, Cass's weight had reached around 300 pounds. While a person's ideal weight can vary, the pursuit of weight loss can sometimes take a perilous path. Unfortunately, Cass resorted to crash dieting, a decision that would take a severe toll on her health. Over the span of 6 months leading up to the show, Cass embarked on a drastic weight loss journey that saw her shedding 100 pounds. The consequences of this extreme weight loss were dire. She encountered throat problems and developed a stomach ulcer as a result of her efforts. In a misguided attempt to alleviate these health issues, she resorted to a diet consisting of milk and cream, which led to the return of 50 pounds she had lost. These complications left Cass bedridden for almost a month, and she even lost her singing voice temporarily. To shed light on the perils of her journey, Cass penned a poignant and chilling article for Good Housekeeping in 1969, aptly titled, "From What a Way to Lose." In it, she candidly recounted her painful experience, saying, "The Mama Cass diet can give you acute tonsillitis, hemorrhaging vocal cords, mononucleosis, and a dangerous case of hepatitis. At least that's what it did for me. I lost my health and more than $250,000 in earnings as a singer. Cass Elliot's motherhood journey is a tale filled with intriguing twists and revelations. The question of who Cass had a child with remained a closely guarded secret, and her daughter, Owen, became a central figure in this enigmatic narrative. Cass's profound connection with her daughter is beautifully captured in her dedication of the song Lady Love to little Owen, born on April 26, 1967. During this period, Cass was near the end of her marriage to James Hendricks. However, James was not Owen's father, a fact that Cass deliberately refrained from publicly disclosing. The identity of Owen's father was shrouded in mystery. The story took an unexpected turn when Cass's friendship with Michelle Phillips became pivotal. Their children, Owen and Michelle's daughter, China, developed a close bond. In the midst of their shared experiences, young Owen, curious about her father's identity, approached Michelle and asked her to reveal the truth. Michelle agreed and promised to divulge the information upon her return from an upcoming trip. The two families spent significant time together, and Owen fondly remembers the days spent swimming in the pool while their mothers engaged in heartfelt conversations. Michelle, intrigued by Owen's paternity secret, decided to play detective when Cass was no longer around to provide answers. A telling moment occurred when Michelle, John, and Denny found themselves in a car, with Michelle expressing her curiosity about Owen's father. In that instance, the two men, John and Denny, shared a meaningful look, as Cass had confided in them about Owen's true parentage. Finally, the mystery was unraveled, and the pieces fell into place. Owen's father was revealed to be Chuck Day, a guitarist and baritone singer. The circumstances of Cass Elliot's passing in April 1974 are shrouded in a combination of tragic irony and persistent rumors. Cass was scheduled to make an appearance on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, a significant milestone in her career. However, fate had other plans, and her life took a sudden and unexpected turn. Just before her anticipated appearance on The Tonight Show, Cass collapsed, which led to her being rushed to the hospital for medical attention. She was subsequently released, attributing her condition to exhaustion from a series of demanding interviews. This episode marked a challenging moment in her life and career. However, the story takes a bittersweet twist as July approached its end. On the night of July 29th, Cass reached out to her dear friend Michelle with exhilarating and deeply personal news. For perhaps the first time in her extensive singing career, Cass was brimming with optimism. Her spirits were lifted by the recent events at the London Palladium, where she had enjoyed 2 consecutive weeks of standing ovations. In those moments, She was Cass Elliot, not just Mama Cass. Her career was on an upward trajectory, and her happiness radiated. Tragically, the elation was short-lived, as mere hours later, Cass Elliot's life came to an untimely end at the age of 32. The news of her passing spread rapidly, but it also brought along a wave of harsh and unfounded rumors. Despite an autopsy conducted by a prominent forensics expert that revealed no drugs in her system, speculation persisted. Some headlines even sensationalized her passing by, suggesting that she died choking on a ham sandwich, perpetuating an unverified narrative. According to her close friend Sue Cameron, a writer for The Hollywood Reporter, upon learning of Cass's passing, she made a phone call to Cass's number, only to have her manager, Alan Carr, answer. What Sue claimed Alan Carr told her was disturbing, alleging that he said, "You've got to tell them she died choking on a ham sandwich. You must go to your typewriter and write that there's a half of a ham sandwich on her nightstand." This bizarre and potentially fabricated narrative quickly gained international attention, turning into a sensationalized story that obscured the true circumstances of Cass's passing. It's ironic that such a narrative emerged because it points to a broader issue: the culture of the time that unfairly fixated on Cass's weight. She was no stranger to comments and criticism about her appearance, which came from various sources, including her bandmates and the media. During her television appearances, Cass often found herself subjected to mockery about her weight. The iconic song, Creek Alley, even contains a line that exacerbates this issue, with the lyrics, "No one's getting fat except Mama Cass," highlighting the fixation on her body. In contrast, her bandmate Michelle was often portrayed as the pretty mama, leaving Cass to humorously carve out a niche as the funny mama to combat the stigma associated with her appearance. While her untimely death has been attributed to a heart attack, the circumstances leading to this devastating event are quite revealing. Many believe that her crash dieting regimen had a profound and detrimental impact on her health, ultimately weakening her heart to the point of failure. The 1960s were marked by a culture that often emphasized appearance over well-being, prompting individuals like Cass to go to great lengths to satisfy public expectations. It was a decade characterized by experimentation with drugs and the relentless pursuit of popularity, which further exacerbated the health problems Cass was already facing due to her crash dieting. Her funeral, attended by approximately 400 people, including her mother and Michelle Phillips, took place at the Hollywood Memorial Park. She found her final resting place at the Mount Sinai Memorial Park in Los Angeles, California. In 1998, she received a well-deserved induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a testament to her enduring influence on the music industry. Mama Cass wasn't just a talented artist. She was a symbol of strength and empowerment for women everywhere. As a proud single mother, she defied societal norms and showed the world that women could raise their children and succeed in their careers. Moreover, she shattered the weight-shaming stigma, proving that one's worth isn't determined by appearance, but by their talents and character. Cass's life was a one-woman triumph against adversity, and she was undoubtedly ahead of her time. Tragically, Cass's life was cut short at the age of 32, leaving her daughter Owen to grow up without her mother. Cass's daughter, Owen Vanessa Elliot, now known as Owen Elliot Kugel, is 56 years old and married to record producer Jack Kugel. Together, they have 2 children, Zoe, 21, and Noah, 19, creating a loving family that continues to carry on Cass's legacy. Although Owen did not have the chance to spend a long time with her mom, she held a profound understanding of her legacy. Owen believed that Cass would want to be remembered for her remarkable voice, which was undeniably one of the unique sounds of her time. However, Cass's impact extended beyond her singing voice. Owen felt that her mother would want to be remembered for the voice she raised to make the world a better place. Reflecting on her mother's life, Owen shared in June 2020, "I look back on her and realize that, just by example, she taught me and others not to accept it when someone says you can't do something." Cass's impact extended beyond her music. She instilled a sense of determination and self-belief in future generations. In the wake of Cass Elliot's passing, the world lost a remarkable talent, gone far too soon. Yet her legacy endures, as her voice and her influence continue to linger in the hearts of her fans, reminding us of the extraordinary woman who made a significant impact in the world of music and beyond, ensuring her memory lives on for years to come. What's your favorite song by the legendary Cass Elliot? Have you come across any intriguing stories about her passing? If you're a fan of the mamas and the papas, don't hesitate to drop your favorite song in the comments below. If you enjoyed our video, give us a thumbs up to show your support. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss a beat.